It is June 5th, 2024, which I can't believe, first of all. Because we're already halfway through the year, but it's a special day for me because it is my 9-year anniversary of my longest running show that I've ever done in my entire life. A show that changed my life. She organized a show with James Lott Jr. Who am I? I'm James Lott Jr. The one and only. I have changed in 9 years also. I'm sure. But I am very happy to still say that I'm doing this show. It's a labor of love for me. And before I get into that, I brought a former guest, has been on a couple of times, who also is on my left-handed show too. She literally has professional-organizer.com. She got that. And she's a past president of NAPO, and she's my friend, Ellen Delap. Hi, Miss Ellen.
Morning, James. I'm so glad to be with you. And first of all, let me say congratulations. That is quite an accomplishment. 9 years.
Yes.
Way to go. I
Yes.
can't say enough wonderful things about how you have brought all of us, the best of us, out in your podcast. And so thank you so much for including all of us in this success. I'm really grateful.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you for saying that. When I first started, folks, a long time ago, probably like 9 years ago, it was someone saw my blog post and said, "Can you make that into a show?" And I will talk about that when I do my thanks and gratitude right now. I'm going to add that in there. I've been doing for 9 years. I have never wavered on that. I've always done my thanks and gratitude. I think it's very important to give thanks and live in gratitude. It's not always easy. There's a tough world out there. But yes,
Not
I
kidding.
do that.
I agree. Living gratitude.
Live
That's a
in
great
gratitude.
saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my gratitude extends to adrenalineradio.com, who they found me and they said, "Hi, do you want to be on the radio?" Little do they know, little James Lott Jr.'s dream with this voice that changed at 13 was to be on the radio. Had no idea, right? And they had no idea. And when I met up with them, it was a match made in heaven. Brian Leone, my first engineer, producer, love you very much. We talked recently, and I'll be back on the show one time. He's great. He helped engineer this and bring this to me. And then when I left and decided to do it on my own, I want to give a shout out to Cameron Lewis, who helped me on his network. And then myself, I came over here. But I want to thank all the guests, all the listeners, the viewers, the industries. It's been something for me that's like we're such a I can talk about organizing all day long. I love it. I can talk about it just every day, all the time. I love it because it's such a vast and varied thing. Because it's not just closets, it's not just garages, it's not just putting things in space. It's the way larger than that. And even I didn't know that until doing this show. I've been in business 15 years this year, also. So that's another thing. My first time being an entrepreneur. So I live in gratitude and thanks for all my clients. Anybody who has hired me, from the everyday person to the celebrities. I'm glad you trust me with your stuff because I do recognize going into your spaces. It's personal. I don't care if it's professional. It's personal also. It's in there. We walk that line all the time when we help our clients. So I live in gratitude for that. I want to thank God for getting me here and bringing me here and keep me in the business. There's some business ups and downs, but also getting this show together and give me a platform like Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio and Amazon and Apple and Google and Spotify and all. I mean, they all that they're here, which means that I can broadcast this and YouTube, which I'm on YouTube, to the world. Special thanks to NAPO, and I will always the other Ellen I have to mention first because she brought us together, Ellen Faye, my other friend, who's named Ellen, who seriously said, we should be using your resource. Why aren't we talking to you? And started the ball rolling. And I've had 8 NAPO presidents on this show. That is amazing. And all, including Miss Ellen. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful women who have treated me with kindness. And lastly, Miss Ellen, because over the years, she has reached out to me when I've had certain things happen, just to say hi and do you need anything? Are you fine? And so, Ellen, I appreciate that also.
Well, I love the shout out to NAPO. Thank you so much for including all of us and being so generous with your time and energy. And you know me, I love you, James. It's from day one I met you. You are a big personality, so much energy, so inclusive of everybody. You're always thinking of how can we all benefit together. And, I think a lot of what you're talking about is just generosity of spirit that you have that is so wonderful to be a part of, to be in the room with. So we all love being a part of your team and your 9 years of success.
Thank you. And one of the things I did was I was at NAPO Houston and spoke. So
Yeah.
every time I see that they're like, oh, I was down there and I had a good time and we had a great time with everybody down there. And your chapter is one of my special chapters, as many out there. Now, so I get to see Houston. I had some good barbecue. It was a great time.
It is. Houston is an amazing city. It's really changed a lot over the years, and through everything, we have bonded together a giant community, fourth largest city, but we're
Yeah.
all here to support each other. And, recently we've had lots of horrifying events with weather, and we're still here to support each other no matter.
Mm,
So it's great.
yeah.
And
One of the things I want to talk about, because you and I have been in business for a while, and I've been using the term long time because I feel like that's just something. I mean, and length of time. I mean, I don't want to say old time because we're not old. I want to say
we're
long
not old.
time.
We'll never be old.
No, we're not old. No, we're just long time. We've been around for a while, and especially in our business and in Naples specifically, we have. I got amazing women friends who have been doing this, like Regina Lark, and I've been around for a thousand years.
Yeah.
I just so smart and just and Leslie Joe celebrate. Everybody's just doing all these great things out there. Um, when you look back too, for you, when you look back on our industry, as long as you've been in it, what are some of the things that make you smile? That where we've come from to where we are now, and you've been able to see it.
Oh, I've totally seen the growth of our industry. I mean, organizing is everywhere, and people do really know about how people can be supported and helped by all of us that are NAPO members and even our certified professional organizers. So I think the growth of the industry, I mean, when we started, people seldom knew that there were people that could help them in so many ways in their residences, in their businesses, with their finances, with their kids that are students. So just the depth and breadth of growth of our industry is remarkable. And then, of course, in all the ways virtually that we can help people now, not just on site. So, and I look for this to even become stronger because so many people need support in so many ways. And then the niches that have evolved, just a greater proliferation of niches as well. So yeah, exponential growth.
I'm glad you said the virtual thing because I think over the 15 years and 9 years we do the show, I did get really nervous at the beginning of the pandemic. I thought, what now? Like, what are we going to do? And of course, virtual organizing. It was already a little bit there before that, but like it really kind of grew and other things came out. But I got nervous for a little bit. I was like, if we can't go to people's houses, what are we gonna do? I mean, for those who do that part of the organizing. So that was very interesting that we
Exactly.
adapted to that too, didn't we?
Exactly. And there's just so many more ways to get support because you can get it individually. There's lots of clutter support groups that are run online. So wherever your need is, your needs can be met in any way. So it's a
Yeah.
great support to those of us who there's so many more life transitions that are going on. And the velocity of life is so quick right now. So
Yeah.
that level of support is needed even more so. So,
Yeah. And also I think too, when you touched upon it, I kind of touched upon it too about how varied this issue is. If you're a person, I want to switch it a little bit too. If you're a person looking to get into this business, you could take your personal life experience, some of your academic experience, and you can apply it to something in organizing, right, Ellen?
absolutely. Absolutely. We know many great authors. James Clear is one of them. Their life experience was that they had a tremendous setback and they built their life back step by step. And each of us as professional organizers has had such a variety. I can't tell you how many people tell me, I've moved over 20 times. Do you think I could become a professional organizer? I'm like, absolutely. I'd
Yeah,
love to mentor you and get you started. And of course, I first mentioned NAPO because that's the best place to get
yeah,
education, and not only on how to run your business, but how to be knowledgeable about the situations you're going to face with some of your clients. But absolutely, now is a booming time for people to start in this industry.
I do. One of the things that makes me smile and also be in awe is popping up on certain colleges and universities. This productivity trainings, the productivity thing. I'm like, where did that come from? Like, I know, I mean, that wasn't there when I was in, well, I was in college and when dinosaurs and stone tablets happened. They didn't have
Exactly.
any of those kind of programs. So I remember as a kid, well, I was a kid, but in high school, when we had economics class and home class like that, but that's all gone now. To see college and universities actually are including productivity and management. And it's, I mean, isn't that amazing? I think it's, I mean, kids are actually growing up
Super
thinking,
exciting to hear that now there's actually some trainings that are going on in high school and college because, as we know, it's been a void for so long for students. So, this is a wonderful step. Lots of people are just starting in a very general field like psychology, and many of these students are becoming professional organizers immediately after they leave the university or college. So, yeah, it is very exciting to see this youngest uh, group starting in this industry.
yeah, I said, I grew up, I want to be an organizer. I want to be a coach. I'm like, really? I mean, I didn't have, that was not when we were growing up. There was nothing like that. You know?
Yeah, this is great. And it's really wonderful because not only does it give people a real place to tap into their strengths, because the people who are the born organized, this is such a joyful profession. And so many people struggle in their profession, not thinking that they have enough training, and entering a profession where you love what you do every day is a gift to yourself.
Oh my goodness. As I spoke at NAPO San Diego this year about self care, and part of that is your job situation. And that is part of it.
Yes, absolutely. The stress that people feel at their workplace because they don't have the kind of communication with the people that they work with. They might be more organized than the people around them, and they're frustrated by that. So, yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you included that in self-care because it's such an important part of how we look into the future for our to thrive as individuals.
Well, it is because I mean, for a lot of us, we spend more time working than not in certain parts of our lives, right? There's certain parts. There's parents. So for some people, there's parenting and things like that. But like but still, work is a major through line our lives. And when you have a job, you just I've had jobs like this. Trust me, where you just dread going to work. You wake up, that alarm goes off, and you're already cursing yourself before you got out of bed. That's not good. That's not good for your that's not good for your self esteem or your self care. And you're drinking coffee and drinking 2 glasses of wine every night to forget about it. I mean that's not good. I mean that's like so. I mean I just know that jobs and employment, and for me at 40 years old, I found my passion, and I always wonder what
Exactly.
that would feel like. That does change your mindset.
It does. It gives you something to look forward to every day. There's the most important things, meaning and purpose, which is what our profession is. It's all about meaning and creating meaning and purpose in other people's lives. So, and the productivity piece, everybody wants to be finding out the hacks that can help them be the most productive, to be the most efficient, use their time most wisely. So these are very important elements of not only what we do, but what others are seeking to do in our profession.
Well, and also what's amazing is that there's always work to be done. So, job security is there.
Mhm.
Especially in America, we have a lot of people who need help in varying
We
ways.
do.
We do. There's plenty of work. There's plenty of work. I always say there's no competition.
Plenty of work.
There's
There's
plenty.
absolutely plenty of work, and there's plenty of work in so many ways. So once again, finding the niche that really taps into your strengths makes all the difference. So we have such a wide variety of people that helping people in so many ways. It's remarkable because who would have thought that you could find a professional organizer that not only would help you move, but would help you set aside all the things in your house that you want to let go of and find a way to let go of them in a way that you might bring more joy to others by donating or more income to yourself by how you sold them. So there's a wide variety of ways that not only we as professional organizers interact with our clients, even just by supporting them when they're going through a grief process. So it's remarkable. So,
Yeah, no, it is.
and it's joy to see this.
Yes,
So,
and I became also a certified life coach. I went to Coach
oh,
Training Alliance,
awesome.
and I did that. I'm a coach in 5 different areas, including divorce coaching, and that's something I didn't know
Oh,
about either.
congrats.
And it's recognized by the ABA
Excellent.
a part of the profession, a part of the process. And for clients, it saves them a lot of billable hours. It saves a lot of the law people having to deal with the minutia of separating property, getting like we handle that stuff as coaches. So I had no idea 15 years ago that was even anything possible. So I'm just trying to give people examples at home from both sides. If you are in a situation or you're thinking about looking for a career, you're like, I like mediation. I like it. There's
Mhm.
still stuff you can do, and I can also organize at the same time. I can do all of it.
Exactly.
That's
Well,
what.
one thing I want to point out that you are a leader in your field because you are always seeking further education. You're always looking for growth. You're always looking for new opportunities, which is something that we all really makes all of us be better at what we do, but just thrive as individuals as well. But you're right. You're relieving a lot of stress in a divorce situation, which I don't think a lot of people know that there's this opportunity for you to have that team member when you know you don't want to be engaging, interacting with these negative situations like this. So yeah, that is an excellent, like being a life coach, there's so many ways you can support people, just
Yeah.
whether they're in a divorce, adding a new family member, getting a new job, moving. So you're a vital part of these people's lives. So thank you for doing that for them.
So I love it. I to me, I feel like I'm serving, and I just feel like that's something that many of us organizers
Mhm.
feel, and we do.
Yes.
It's we're serving our community and our public, and that to me is better than pushing papers. I used to push papers. I had a job where I was like, what do we do here? Like I have no idea what we do. I'm doing some kind of budgets or whatever. I'm like, what do we do? Do we make plastics or like make sporks? I have no idea. But I was like getting paid, but it was empty. It was completely empty inside. I'm like, I'm just getting paid, and that's it. I'm waiting for my vacation in 2 months, and that's all I'm thinking. I want to do something where every day, like as you know, every day is different. No 2 days are alike when you're an organizer, and also you're helping facilitate change in some way.
I'm exactly on the same page as you. When I started um, my business, professional-organizer.com in 2000, my real goal was I want to make a difference every day. And by being a professional organizer, that's really what you do. And like you're saying, it really is like a service to others. And so it's very easy to share what do we do? How do I help you? Rather than thinking, I'm trying to sell you a package of hours of us doing something together. No, this is deep, meaningful work. And so you're right. I mean, it really is more of a service than anything else.
Now, I also want to talk about as we go through this, as time does go on and we get a little older, some things change. I have 5 grandchildren I'm trying to spend time with, aging parents I'm taking care of. Um, for us long timers, and I'm kind of curious your thought is too, but just that I feel like our needs are a little different than a newcomer or someone who's, been 10 years in the business or whatever. I feel like we have different needs. What are some of your thoughts about that? Of the kind of the because now we're coming up at where people have been in business 25 years, 30 years. We're hitting our 60s and 70s. And it's just different, but we still want to be connected to the business, but like we still have different needs. What are some of your thoughts about that?
I totally agree. Our needs are different. And sometimes our um, physical beings want to make a change too because we don't have all of the same not necessarily energy but physical capability. So I totally agree, but there's so many opportunities for you to support people in ways that some of us choose to bring assistance with us. So then we add a team member to what we're doing and take them along with us. Some of us choose to go into more of a coaching modality, so that way we can work less physically but more mentally. And we know how big the need is for people with not only with their therapists, but also their coaches. And then some of us actually have sold our businesses
I
to
know.
others that are younger. So we have like so many options as we age in this profession that it's wonderful. And like you said, like that continuing education, even though we know a lot, we all know there's still more to learn about the brain, and there's so much more research now. So absolutely, there's a lot of things that go on even as your business matures.
Yeah, because I think I tell people all the time, it's just like language changes. We started saying productivity more than time management. Like there's like little changes that happen, and so I know this from being in other industries that just I was in the healthcare industry, so just like I was in the insurance industry before I got into this. I was in the farm and ag. You just learn that language changes. Sometimes systems change; they get updated. Someone finds a better way to do something, and so it's very valuable to all of us. So that's why I say education is something that it doesn't end until I'm in heaven. It doesn't end. Like while I'm on earth, still alive, still trying to do this. Even in my media profession, I teach classes and coach kids on media, but also I'm looking to other people who are also making advances. I think looking sideways, looking forward are great things no matter what business you're in. And I think in organizing and productivity and all that, I think it's vital to always kind of read up on articles, what's going on. Like Ellen, I love, see, Ellen, I'm a nerd. I love all that stuff. I love all that stuff. Love
You're so right about the language, but I think none of us want to be left behind
it.
that
No,
are at the forefront of this industry, like yourself.
yes,
And as a result, we are often learning new language, and we're learning about new gurus that are in our productivity and organizing field. And so we're always looking ahead, like what's coming next. We may not have seen exactly what was going to go on with COVID, but we're very adaptable, we're flexible, and we also always want to be looking towards what's coming next so we can help people with that.
yeah.
So definitely it's very much about looking sideways and looking for the future.
There's so many people in our industry that you and I both know, or have heard of, but we know, I know you and I know a lot of people that are doing amazing things too, and I have no problem showcase. That's why I do the show. I want to showcase them. People like Geraldine Thomas
Absolutely.
or Dorothy the Organizer, or people like Matt Paxton, or whatever. These are folks who are doing things that been around a long time, but also are out there, leading the charge and have these great personalities. And they're just, and that's why I said this industry is one of the few industries where I don't feel competition. I just feel like we're all in this together, we're all swimming upstream together to help the world in these things. And that's one thing I appreciate the last 9 years doing the show. That people are not saying like, oh, I'm not going on your show because you're an organizer too. Like, no, I'm an organizer also. So I'll lift you up too. That's why I'm just, like I said, there's plenty of work.
Exactly. And I think it's true. We're extremely collegial in our industry. We really don't think of each other as competitors. We really think the saying I have is a rising tide floats all boats. So every time someone has a professional organizing show on TV, home edit, you name it, Matt Paxton's show,
Yeah,
every show that's on TV, Hoarders with Dorothy,
yeah,
people are thinking about maybe I need that kind of help too. So it helps all of us. And also, many of us go to conferences together. NAPO has Summit where we're teaching each other things, and even things as something like how to use a design program on House, or how to use Canva as a graphic design tool. Like, I love my peers and they love me, and we're so fortunate to have an industry that feels that way about each other. So,
so again, I said it right after one of my other shows, but folks, I was supposed to be at the summit in Long Beach. It's in my backyard, basically. I live in Inglewood, and I got COVID right before that. And knocked me out, and I was so sad. Again, Mindy Godding, my girl, was giving me carte blanche, so that she'd let me run the place. And I would give her a shout out again. I love her, and I couldn't. I was so upset. I want to see all my friends because I'm telling you, when you go to a conference of professional organizers, there's no other high for me.
Oh
There's
my
no
gosh, there's
other
so much hugging. It's
high.
yeah,
That's why I couldn't come. I didn't want to give my COVID. I don't want to give
amazing.
my COVID. Dang it.
Yeah,
I was
it is.
I'm saying, she said, you got to bring your camera and your microphone. So I had to run a place. I was so excited. But I just want to give another shout out to her again for, again, NAPO president, wonderful to me, giving me access. And I was like, ugh. I said some expletives because I couldn't go, but that COVID knocked, folks, you don't want it knocked me out. I slept for like 20 hours one day, and so it was just crazy. But yes, but I mean, the summits are good. They have one in Chicago next year. I'm trying to go that one. I love Chicago. Chicago's a
Great.
great.
I hope you'll be there. Yes. Well, and even when you're a celebrity in our industry, like you yourself, James, like influencers, we are very embracing. And so we will walk up to you, give you a hug. Of course, tons of Instagram moments going
Yes.
on. So yes. So yeah. And the wonderful thing about Summit is it's a very equal playing field. All of us feel really good about it. So it's a
Yeah,
great thing.
that's good.
So
You hear some. I mean, some of my friends were speaking. I was like, "Oh, they got great topics too. There's great topics, you guys. You don't understand. It's such a. Our industry is just wonderful, and I feel very blessed to have found it thanks to Julie Morgenstern's book, Organized from the Inside Out. I saw that book. It came to my orbit, and I was like, "What is this?" And that led me 15 years of this path and 9 years of this path on here. It did, Ellen. It was that book that led me this direction.
yes. Yes, that's such great,
Isn't that
great
funny?
way. That's great.
Funny.
Yes,
Um,
that's
so we have
awesome.
to so we
Yeah.
have to end. But I just Ellen, thanks for being on the show so much. And one last thing before we go, what would you like to say to anybody who is looking for a professional organizer or a coach? They're on the fence. What would you say to them?
I tell people do as much as you can for yourself, but don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that's the biggest challenge people have is they feel like they're very vulnerable, that if they have to ask for help, it's an inadequacy of theirs. I'm a big proponent of build a bigger team. Doesn't matter who your team is. Like there's a person that can come clean your house. There's a person who's going to do your lawn. There's a person that's going to come in and help you with your closet, your finances, helping your kids be better students. So don't think about it as an inadequacy because you don't have enough help. It's how can you get all sorts of help this way? So it's wonderful.
I
So
agree with that
I'm
completely.
excited. Thank you
Thank,
so much for
thank
including
you.
us.
Thank you so much. Check out napo.net
Thank
for
you.
just for organizers, or if you want to
Mhm.
join, or you want to look at some classes and stuff. I mean, the teachers they're
Great.
amazing instructors, amazing stuff going on over there,
Wonderful.
and they
That's
are on the
great.
forefront. Check me out. I'm for some reason I'm on a roll right now. I am being asked
Yeah.
to be in a lot of magazines. So we can check
Congrats.
out. I've been questioned. Sorry, I've been quoted in Apartment Therapy recently.
Wonderful.
Better Homes and Gardens, Forbes. I mean, there's a couple places you can find some of my latest stuff in. Just look James Lott Jr. And you can figure that out. But I want to thank all those publications for coming to me. I mean, I'm humbled by it.
Yeah.
And thank you. And to everybody who watches or listens to this program, I appreciate it. Go to her professional-organizer.com. I'll put it in the description below. If you need some help and you're anywhere, just talk. She's for hire. She got people. She's for hire. Talk to her.
Well,
And
James, I want to congratulate you again on these 9 amazing years and including us all in the fun and bringing us all with you. So thank you.
thank you. And I plan on being here even longer than that. I'm still going, folks. I'm the only organizing show that's been going on continuously this whole time. And we're going to continue going. We have more people to talk to and more topics to illuminate. So that will continue happening. Everyone, get organized. It's really anybody can do it. And your life really, I'm seriously, it will really be better. See you next time.